I absolutely love this type of video when we look back at the year that has just passed. So I hope I'm gonna have fun making this video myself. I want to look back on all the paintings I done in 2024 and see what I can improve for 2025. Without further ado, let's jump back in January 2024. And in January 24, I directly went out January 8th to paint outside. It snowed, and usually when it snows, I'm absolutely in love with the snow. I'm absolutely in love with painting, depicting snow. So I really want to do it myself, and I never succeeded so far. I never had a successful painting with the snow, so I tried one more time at this time in January, and I was very rusty. So as you can see, the result is far from great, but at least this brought me back to painting, because before that, in my last painting was from October 2023, so it was a self-portrait from mirror, and I was feeling very rusty. So it was good to go outside and paint. Then I have to wait until January 31st to find my next painting, and this is a painting of a bowl. So as you can see, I do not hesitate to go in between subjects. So to go from a plein air subject that is fairly complicated, I go to a simple bowl painting, which is a wonderful exercise when you don't want to focus on the drawing, but you just want to focus on mixing paint and mixing accurate colors and values of the object or the subject you paint. Ball painting is a wonderful exercise for that. Then I wanted a subject a little more complicated, but still that remains simple enough to focus on the color mixing and basically the paint application process more than the drawing. So this cactus really answered that requirement, and we are now early February when I paint this cactus. I was happy with that result. Here we are mid-February, and I'm still going back to that bowl, and I try to, as I control the light in my studio setup here, I didn't put a light directly on the bowl. I think that bowl was almost completely in the shadow, so I wanted to see the difference, capturing a bowl that is fully in the light and another bowl that is in the shadow. So this is what, in my opinion, fascinating about when you paint from life, is that you can really see the difference when you mix the colors, and you can start to see the difference between an object that is in light and an object that is in shadows. I think this really starts to be very interesting when you reach that stage. Then I directly went ahead, and the same day I did another bowl painting. This time I decided to capture the surrounding of the subject more than just the subject itself, which will be very useful later on in the year when I start to paint cityscapes. So here it's an interior painting. We are the same day, February 11 still, and I did that interior painting that doesn't look good in picture, but in reality this is a painting I'm pretty happy with. I was trying to apply more paint and to go faster. I was basically already trying to get the right balance between detail and fast pace painting, because I knew I wanted to go paint in the city at some point, so I was trying to prepare for that. This interior painting was not that bad, and here this is a little skull painting. It's very small. I'll redo that skull later. I'm completely off here in the colors, but the value are pretty accurate. And here again, I think this is still mid-February. We are February 12th, and I was feeling very rusty still, so I was going from one subject to another. Here's an attempt at a self-portrait from mirror, including the surrounding of the mirror, which I didn't finish because I didn't feel the need to. And February 13, I go back outside in my backyard because I think it snowed again, so I really wanted to quick capture snow. This is a horrible painting, but again, sometimes the result doesn't matter. It's the fact of doing it, of painting, that is important, and this brought me back in the mood for painting, so it was really important, these steps. And here we are still February 13, and I start to paint my vase series. I did 4 paintings of different vases, and this is the first one. I was really happy about this one. This is basically when I started another approach to painting. So the cactus and the Reebok shoe are both painting in the same way, which is a painting process that I absolutely love, but this is a painting process that takes a lot of time. So I knew eventually I knew I wanted to go painting in the city, and I knew if I go with that approach of painting in the city, this will take me way too much time. I will need to have a really long window period of time to paint like that in the city. So I knew this is not something that would work for me, because even though now I'm used to going back to a subject in the city a few days in a row, if I can capture the subject in 1 or 2 days maximum, I think this is where I feel happy the most, where I don't have to go 5 days or 6 days in a row to try to capture the same subject. At least for now, so far, I like to paint faster. So I was practicing here. I have a video on the channel that talks about that vase painting. It's called Paint Faster, I think. And I was setting up a time limit. So here was, I think, 2 hours, 2 hours and a half each time to finish that vase. And I was trying to apply more paint and to be more, be more aware of my time limit that I have if the light moves outside, because here in the studio, obviously the light doesn't move. But outside it does. So I wanted to be able to paint faster, and this whole vase series was about practicing painting faster. And at the end of February, I think the snow was still there, or it snowed again, but I went back outside to paint. And this painting, I'm completely off for the trees, but in the end I was very happy about this painting. So this shows that sometimes painting is not fully amazing, or you're not fully happy about the painting, but there is parts of the painting that you succeeded something, and that is enough. That was enough for me to be happy and to give me the energy to keep going. So indeed, that painting is not like fully amazing, but there was part of that painting that I was really happy with. So that really gave me, I remember this February, really gave me the energy to go and paint more. We are still end of March suddenly, and here's another skull painting, that Mexican skull that I like to paint. And then we are end of March now, and I started to paint. This is a Dragon Ball keychain that I painted, and then April 1st I painted Goku to pay homage to Akira Toriyama. I was really happy about that painting of Goku. This took a lot of energy from me doing that painting. Sometimes when I'm emotionally linked to a subject, I don't know why, but it's harder for me to paint it. And it was very hard to paint Goku for me, but I was happy that I did it. And then I think I had some travel to make, so I didn't paint for a few weeks. And then we are May 10, and I painted I think the only one self-portrait from Mirror that I did in 2024 is this one. I think I did only one, which is a shame, because I absolutely love painting self-portrait, but I don't know, for some reason I didn't paint that much this year self-portrait. So this is my only one self-portrait from Mirror, and it's a small one, a 6x6. And this is May 10, and then May 12, then everything accelerates mid-May. So I start to paint some flowers, and here I feel the need to go outside, but I feel I'm not ready to go neither in the city, neither go back to a park. So I know I need more experience, so I'm staying in my backyard, and then I paint a lot here. For a few weeks I paint a lot of flowers, a lot of bushes. It's springtime, so everything is flowering, all the colors come out in the nature. So this is really something I enjoyed capturing, even though I knew this was just an exercise and it was really just for me to exercise, to paint faster and to get this mixing, this color mixing, this value mixing more accurate and faster, in order to at some point later this year, I knew I wanted to go in the city, so I was getting ready for that basically. And here we are still end of May, and I paint this flower. I have a rose bush in my backyard, and one of the roses fell, so I took it and I put it in that vase and I painted it. This was very pleasant, and it's crazy to see how, when you go from one subject to another, how suddenly you have to kind of learn, I will not say the whole painting process, but flowers definitely brought me to a point where I saw that for certain colors you really need certain tube of colors on your palette, because the flowers are so bright and so saturated of colors that with a limited palette sometimes you have a hard time reaching the exact color on the flower, because it's so saturated. So at this stage I remember for the pink flower or pink rose, I had to add one tube of color. I think it was quinacridone rose for the rose flower. I had to add it on my palette because I couldn't reach the exact color. And from end of May, we are mid-June now, and mid-June I go back outside and I paint in a park this tree that I already painted in. It's the same tree that I painted in winter, but this time I painted in full flesh. But this time I painted with the leaves, and yeah, it was nice. Again, this is not a painting I was happy with, but I could feel the progress. So I stayed painting in parks at this time, and here I found some water lilies, so I was happy, and I already painted this pond, but I went back to it and I tried to paint more water lilies. Again, not a success, but again, that I feel we have to go through this phase of painting where we learn a lot, and we are not happy with the end result, but the end result is not everything in painting. The painting process is extremely important. So here I was doing some Shasta daisies, is a type of flower, and yeah, I was again practicing. You need to go in that position of going in front of the subject, and your brain needs to work to reach the same value, to reach the same colors. All this that you do one painting after another eventually bring you closer to a state where you feel comfortable mixing these colors, mixing these values, and it become to you more natural and less thinking. It needs to be natural. So here we are end of June now, and end of June I start to drive around, and I reach other locations. So here I was on the ocean and capturing these little boats and the water. So basically, every subject that you change, when you go from the water to a tree, to a car, to a city, to bushes, to rose, to flowers, all this, once you never did it, if you never did it, all this is a challenge all the time. For some painting, I was happy. I was like, oh, I'm getting it. And then I change the subject, and again, it's another challenge. So yeah, really painting en plein air or outdoors, it's really a slow process. It's really something I have to keep doing, keep going. After one painting after another painting, I have to keep going in order to get better. At least for me, it took a long time, and it's still not there yet, but it's getting closer from what I want. So here we are early July, and early July I really give everything I have. I know I'm gonna have to travel in a few weeks, so I'm really rushing to go outside and paint all the subject I can. So yeah, I know I'm not ready for the city, so I keep going around a little bit the city to find spots where I'm more isolated, where there's less people, and I can really focus on what I'm making. So after this trees and park painting, then I reach again the ocean, try to focus on a wave, try to focus on a subject that constantly moves, and it was not easy, but again, it was a good learning process. And here I go back to a park. I just drove randomly next to this park, and I saw this magnificent tree, this gigantic tree, and I tried to capture it. Again, one not the best, but I remember at this tree I was getting closer, and I was like, okay, there's really something here that I need to push because it's enjoyable. I like to do it, and it's getting there. Step by step, it's getting there. But definitely, plein air painting is definitely the hardest thing in painting I ever tried. So here, finally, I think after the tree, I felt really nice. I felt really good. So after the tree, I was like, okay, I need to get finally closer to the city because ultimately that's what I want to do. I want to paint in the city. So I chose this cityscape that is fairly easy, and I was surprised that on this boardwalk that is it's very famous boardwalk next to New York. I mean, on the view on New York, and there was not much people in the morning, so I was very happy. I was very quiet there, very chill, and I was able to capture that cityscape. Here we are early August, and early August I finally go in the city. This time I still go in the park, so I'm still pretty quiet. Not much people came to me that day, and I didn't finish that painting. It was too complicated. I couldn't make it happen, and I didn't like it. I was not happy, so I never went back to it. And here, as I'm about to travel, I'm staying in the studio. I feel more comfortable just staying in the studio and tackle different subjects. So here, I want to tackle a subject with with a lot of white inside to see how I can handle that white. And this is a coconut painting. I was very happy. Then I did a glass of milk to see how I can handle to capture glass and this different reflection and the white of the milk. This worked pretty good, I feel. And at this time I traveled. This is end of August, so I went to Japan. This was absolutely mind-blowing. Was very happy to go to Japan. I couldn't It was a family vacation, so I knew I couldn't have time, and my head was not in painting mode. I wish, but when I'm with my family, sometimes it's very hard for me to focus on painting because I have a lot of things to think in my surrounding that I need to make sure that everything goes good. So to me it's very hard to just put my mood in painting, but I did a lot of sketches there in Japan, and I was very happy to at least sketch some stuff. These are not the best sketch because I was already because I'm not the best sketcher, but also because I was very rusty. It's been a while that I haven't sketched. I mostly focus on painting right now, and the sketch, it's not something I feel the need to practice. So I was very rusty, but it was still very enjoyable to sketch some scene from Japan. And when I came back from Japan, that's where I believe maybe everything changed, because finally I made the step to go in the city. I saw that Peter Brown, Pete the Street, was in the city. He came to New York to paint the city, and I got lucky enough. I was able to get in touch with him, so I was able to meet him. And that day of September 16, I met Pete the Street. And I was lucky enough to be able to paint alongside him. You can find this on my YouTube channel if you haven't seen them. All these videos, most of the videos of the plein air in the city are on my channel, so you can check that out if you haven't seen them. And here, yeah, I spent 3 days, I think, painting with Pete. So these 3 days were really enjoyable for me. I have learned a lot with Peter Brown. I was very careful to not, he didn't come here to give me a workshop or anything like that. So he came for his project. So I was very careful to not bother him or to not, overflow him with questions. But after the painting session, sometimes we will get a beer, sometimes we will just, talk a little bit. And that's when sometimes I will ask a few questions. But again, it was not the point. It was not even me asking questions. It was just being around him, seeing the way he paints, seeing the technique he has, in the pace, which pace he paints, and all this, I think, taught me a lot without the need of really asking him questions. So that was 3 days, I think. Then he left back for the UK, for London. or where he lives in Bath. So so then I went back again in the studio. I painted this figure painting in the studio, and I was lucky enough that he texted me a few days later that he's back in the city one more time in 2024 to paint the city, and he stayed, I think, around 10 days. So I knew this would be another opportunity for me to paint the city a lot and to be with him. I love spending time with Pete. It's an absolute pleasure to spend time with Pete, even though that time I was more ready. I was already more confident with painting the city. So he was really meeting in the morning, saying hi in the morning pretty quick this time, and directly go to my painting location. I felt I had the experience now to know what to do, so I will just say hi and then go to my painting location. So that second shot, that second time that he came, I will not be next to him painting. I will just choose my location, and then at some point during the day we will meet and exchange a little bit. But other than that, it was really me going to the city or me going to my location and paint. So it was absolutely wonderful, even if I didn't paint next to him, knowing that the fact that somebody else that I like, he's here painting in the same time, the same day, painting somewhere in the city, not far from me, because we will choose the same neighborhood to paint in. That was an absolute treat, and I'm very, very thankful about that. So here are a few paintings that I did during these 10 days. I went every day to paint a new, not every day a new, but I went every day to paint there. It was very, very, very nice. We will meet every day in Chinatown, actually. That's the neighborhood we chose to stay in. It was very, very nice. And that's it. I think we are October now. The first time was September when he came. He came back a second time in October, and that was the 10 days. And then when he left October 10th, then I just kept going. Basically, I had the pace, I had the knowledge I wanted to, and then to me it was really at that moment that everything opened for me, and that I really knew I like to paint in the city. I want to paint more in the city. So then it just became that I finally kind of reached the point where I wanted to be able to be in the city to paint. And well, that's how I kept going. So after that I did a more cityscape until I think mid-November, and that's where everything came back to slow down. That's my last painting of November. I was absolutely very happy and very thrilled about that painting. I felt I reached another level in that painting that really was exciting to reach, and I was really impatient to reach that stage. It was a long way to go there, and unfortunately after things came, I had to start to work on my website. I had to start to work more on the paperwork side. I know it's not the right word, but like everything that goes around the career that you have to take care of, that it's not only painting that you do. You have to also I forgot to mention, I was very lucky, and I'm so thankful about that. I sold my first paintings at this moment, so I had to take care of that. I have to take care of the sale. I have to take care of registering everything correctly on my computer, all the sales, because I want to do everything correctly, and I want to do the right thing. So all this takes time. It's not, again, it's a full-time artist career. It's not just painting. It's a lot of different things, and I want to do the right thing. So I take my time, and I take my focus to do these things, and often when I need my focus to do these things, my brain is not capable of going back and forth between painting and doing that. And so I have to fully go into the paperwork or fully go into the painting. But so far, I have a hard time doing both. I hope in the future it will be easier to juggle between both, or that everything is in place correctly, that I don't have to juggle too much and I can just focus on painting. But usually a career is not like that. Usually you have different things to handle. That's life. And even in life in general, you have different things to handle. You have your family, you have things that happen in your surroundings, with friends, with family, with just your life in general. Things happen, and you have I have to get used to be able to handle things around and going back to paintings normally. I'm too often facing the situation where I take care of things and then I let a few weeks pass before being able to go back to painting. So that's definitely one improvement that I want to do in 2025. And I will meet you again for a recap of 2025 in December 2025 to see if I succeeded painting more and leaving less gap in between paintings. I hope this video is clear. I'm not sure, but it was more a chill video, relaxed video. There's less editing in that video. I think it's just me talking, and I hope that's okay. I hope I hope I expressed myself correctly. And so here, yeah, November 13, that was my last painting. Actually, my last painting of November 13 is a night painting that I'm not sure I can release in a bonus video still this year before December 31st. I'm not sure I can release that painting, but I did a night painting as well that day. That was a nice experience. It was my first night painting. It was definitely a bonus for me and something very nice, very challenging, my first night painting, especially in the city alone. It was very challenging, but I really liked it, and I think it's something I'm gonna do again, but this time I think I'm gonna try to avoid fall or winter because it was so cold. So the summer might be better for night painting. So yeah, that's it for this recap, because mid-November, that's my last plein air painting. Then I started to take care of my website, so my website should be live now already. I will keep working on it all the time. Basically, my website will be home to everything I produce, so I basically focus myself on my website and on my YouTube channel. These are both very important for me. I want to thank everybody that joined me this year on my YouTube channel. I hope I'm gonna have time to make a video about my first year on YouTube that will come out in January or maybe February of this new year, 2025. This was so amazing to start my YouTube channel, and I'm very thankful about everybody that trusts me and join me on this channel. This is a long journey. This is not something that's gonna stop now or anytime soon. This is something I will keep taking care of. I absolutely love making video for YouTube. I'm very thankful and I'm happy. Thank you so much for the way you welcome my plein air painting in the city. I see that this is something you apparently like, so this is something you will find more in 2025. I will keep doing that because this is what I absolutely love. There is other type of video that will come back. We will keep going in the process. I will keep sharing what I learn in oil painting. So I share the first playlist is about starting oil painting. When I think of something that will be a good addition to that playlist, I will still keep going with this video starting oil painting. But now I will open soon a new chapter about color mixing. I will probably open a new chapter about drawing, because drawing is such an important part of painting. I will probably also talk about that on the channel. There's many things to come. I wish I had more time to do all this, because I'm also in the need to constantly keep painting, to keep learning and to keep being better. There's a lot of things that comes on the channel, but there's also a lot of things that comes on the website. I will probably add very soon on the website free resources where I will share resources for artists, the things that I hope will help artists develop their own painting and their own style or whatever they want to do. I don't say it enough, but I think I hope it's clear. I'm here to help. I spent 20 years before finding the way I wanted to paint. It was so hard all this period of time where I was lost and I was still painting, but I knew there was something off. Now I feel I found my thing. I found where I'm happy, so I keep pushing that, and I want to share that with you. That way you don't have to spend 20 years to find your thing. I hope this helps people. I hope this helps someone. And yeah, thank you for all your feedback. Thank you for all your comment. This is what keeps me going with that YouTube channel, because your feedback is absolutely amazing, and I'm very thankful about that. So thank you so much. Here now, after November, well, we are in December, and December was the time for me to take care of all this. So there was no new painting. I think I did an interior painting, but I don't have a picture of this interior painting. I hope during the holidays that I am able to paint a little bit. Maybe I'm able to tackle some portrait because my family is coming. So this will be a good occasion to have people to paint in the studio. I hope I can do that. I'm not sure if my head will be towards painting or just more towards spending holidays and taking it chill and relax before starting the new year on a really good pace and painting a lot directly at the start of the new year. I wish you wonderful holidays. I hope you're having wonderful holidays with your family, and I hope everything is good for you. I'm looking forward to see you in 2025. I wish you all the best. Happy New Year. Happy 2025.